Hey guys, Mike here. Today we are starting on a 2-week adventure that is going to take us through western Utah, Nevada, Southern California, and Arizona. We're going to be seeing a lot of pretty cool stuff. In the first place I'm going to pull off is this little place I found last time I was down here, a couple weeks back. And it was a good spot to pull off with the dogs. And it'll have a really nice view of Mount Moriah and Great Basin National Park and Wheeler Peak. And there's a really cool little arch that I found up here. Arch, window. It's small, but it's still really nice. So this is a really quick, easy spot to pull off of the highway on and drive up into this little canyon here. And you can see there's some really cool rock formations. It's a really nice, quiet, little peaceful area. You could probably camp up here. This is all BLM land. Be dispersed camping. And I have yet to run into anybody out here. It's really nice and quiet and secluded. So it is a really nice day out today. Blue skies, nice and sunny, not a cloud in the sky. And we are here in a little minor canyon just off of Highway 50 in western Utah's Confusion Range. Pan this around a little bit. You can see behind me there's a lot of really nice rock formations. It's really pretty up here. But we're going to go up that way. And there's a little arch up in that butte over there. And we're going to go take a look at that. Guys, act. It's sure a perfect day to be out here. A little breezy, mild temperatures. But look at that view. It's Mount Moriah over there and Wheeler Peak in Great Basin National Park. I don't know if you can see it. It's right up there. Just a small window, but we're gonna hike up to it. Get a closer look. I really like it out here. This is a beautiful place. Lots of nice rock formations. And fantastic views. And here we are. I'll zoom in a bit. If you frame it just right, got a great view of Mount Moriah right in the middle of this. And of course a commanding view of the Snake Valley. You can see Highway 50 down below. Lots of dirt roads leading to more adventure. It's a beautiful place out here. So this is our first stop on a 2-week trip that I am taking of the Southwest. We're going to be in western Utah, Nevada, Southern California, and Arizona. But today we have a couple more places we're going to stop and show you a couple of other cool things out here on our public lands. We are about to arrive at our second destination for today. This place has always piqued my curiosity when I come driving through here. And what it is a juniper forest that is growing down in the bottom of the valley. Now, most of these valleys in this area of Nevada are pretty dry, and most of the junipers grow up on the hills. But this area, and there's another area a little bit further south, most of these junipers grow down in the bottom of the valley. So we're going to go in here and check it out. We are hiking down to the Swamp Cedars. We're going to wander around in the forest for a little bit. Right now we are at the foot of the Snake Range. It's Great Basin Park behind me. And this area, it's been kind of interesting with how big the trees are around here. And they are big as we approach. Those are some really big cedar trees for this area. I was doing some reading on this area, and apparently there is a layer of clay that is quite shallow. And so all the water that comes down from the Snake Range behind me, once it gets down to this level, it's pretty close to the surface. And so these trees are able to take advantage of that water, and that's why there are so many of them right in this area. Now, usually these trees grow higher up on the mountains. There's mostly junipers and pinyon pines in these lower sections of the mountain. And this is typical for a lot of the Great Basin. But as you can see, right here, you know, there's not much. It's all just barren. And then you get down here to the bottom of the valley where that clay gets shallow and the water is not very deep under the surface. And we have this huge forest growing. So this area is just off of Highway 50. Good place to stop and stretch your legs, take the dogs out for a few, and enjoy a unique forest down here. So there are efforts to get this area protected. And there have been proposals for creating a national monument here, or making it a remote section of Great Basin National Park. Aside from the biological uniqueness of this area is sacred to the Western Shoshone, who have occupied the Spring Valley region of eastern Nevada since the last ice age covered the land some 15,000 years ago. In the mid to late 1800s, 3 conflicts occurred, 2 with the U.S. Army and 1 with local vigilantes that resulted in the deaths of hundreds of Western Shoshone. Sometime during 1859, a Colonel Patrick E. Connor of the California Volunteers, who at the time was stationed at Fort Ruby in the nearby Ruby Valley, ordered the unqualified killing of the Shoshone. According to several sources, U.S. cavalry soldiers slaughtered more than 500 Shoshone in a single event that occurred near the Swamp Cedars. The Go-Shoot War then began in 1863, and on May 16th of that year, the U.S. cavalry soldiers killed 23 more Shoshone among the Swamp Cedars. Then in 1897, it is believed that vigilantes massacred an untold number of native people in the Spring Valley near the Cedars. These massacres, wars, and other killings are still poignant historic events for many of the current members of the Go-Shoot Indian, the Ely Shoshone, and the Duckwater Shoshone tribes. Some Shoshone say that each swamp cedar represents a Shoshone who has died. It is these events that have made the Swamp Cedars, or Ba-Sa-Hwabi in Shoshone, a very important sacred, spiritual, and holy place, and that has fueled calls for their protection. Now, this area is really cool. You definitely should stop and check this out. It's nice when you get out into these valleys, you can really appreciate just how huge some of these mountains around here are. So we are going to head back up to the truck and make our way on down the road for our third stop today. Probably be about an hour, hour and a half. We have a little bit of a drive. So this next spot that we are going to stop at, I have driven past it at least a dozen times in the years past, and I've always wanted to stop and check it out. This is the Springs Trilobite area. This is a Bureau of Land Management administered U-Dig fossil site. Should be pretty cool. We're going to go look for some fossils. So here we are at the Springs Trolobite U-Dig fossil area. This board gives a pretty good overview of what trolobites are, all the way over to what layer they occurred, and how many millions of years ago these guys were swimming around in ancient oceans. Looks like there are 6 different types that are found in these shale deposits. Here's a map. Black line going to where we're going to go. That's the site. And I brought a rock hammer. Let's go check it out. Let's see. Got the trail registry right here. I'll do a quick sign in. So this is one of those areas where it transitions from the Great Basin into the Mojave Desert. And you can probably tell by all of the Joshua trees that all of a sudden are growing amongst the junipers. I think we found the place. Lots of holes dug and shale. Get down and see if we can see anything interesting. A lot of shale laying around here. I had read on a website about this place that they recommend to bring a pry bar, a couple of shovels. I don't have a pry bar, but I do have a shovel. And I'm going to be coming back this way in a couple of weeks, so if we don't find anything today, I'm going to stop here again and check it out. I'm determined to go home with at least one fossil. So I didn't have any luck. I guess I didn't look that hard though. I mostly just raked through other people's leftover shale piles. But I'm going to be back through here in a couple of weeks, and I think we're going to stop and give it another go. I think we're going to head back to the car, and we're going to go and find ourselves a nice campsite for the night and make some dinner. So I found myself a pretty nice campsite. We're just off the dirt road that we went down, and I've got a really nice view. Got a nice view of Dry Lake Valley. That'd be a really pretty sunrise in the morning. And I got camp all set up, and I'm gonna make us some dinner. So tonight we're gonna make a stir fry. It's gonna be vegetables and some chorizo I bought at a Mexican food store up in Salt Lake. These guys do really, really good chorizo. I'm a big fan of cooking with cast iron, so I drag my cast iron pots from home all the way out here into the woods to cook with them. But I have no regrets. Wash my hands a bit. So we'll put a little vegetable oil in here. And this chorizo comes in the sausage casing. So we'll get a chunk of this out. It's supposed to be a real pretty night tonight. Almost a full moon. Not a cloud in the sky. It's gonna be really nice. Yeah, a nice hot cooked meal after a long day on the road or a long day on the trail. Kind of one of my favorite ways to go. Let this cooking a little bit. Smells great. Yeah, we'll throw some vegetables in here. This is just kind of a hodgepodge of cabbage, peas, onions, peppers, broccoli, carrots. A whole bunch of stuff. Break them up a little bit. It's got mushrooms in it too. Put a lid on it, let it steam for a bit, soften up the vegetables. I like spices on it. This is an everything blend. The everything on the bagel kind of deal. But it's really good. I don't put a lot on, but just enough. And I really like this stuff here. This is a chili lime mix. A little of that on there. Great camp food. Almost gonna need a headlamp here. And a slightly warmer hat. There we go. Smelling delicious. I'll put a tortilla on it to warm it up. Like that. hang out for a minute or two. Turn the heat off. And let it steam for a moment. Take our hot tortilla and spoon some of the goodies in there. And I'll put one more in because I'm going to have two. Kind of hungry. And of course, I'll have plenty of leftover stir fry for lunch tomorrow. And there we have it, camp food. Tastes great. Well, it's getting pretty dark now, so I'm going to stop filming for the day. Hope you enjoyed the adventure today. We'll be back tomorrow with more. This is day 1 out of 2 weeks that I'm going to be driving around down here in the desert, checking things out. So we'll see you guys in the morning.